Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to the Offworld Trading Company. We have arrived at week 4 of our campaign, and things are getting more intense. Frank Dawson has been eliminated, and now there's only 7 of us. So, where are we gonna go? So, the other 6 players have already nicely divided themselves amongst the 3 maps that we have remaining. So we have San Marino and Anastasia, who are the number 2 and 3 players, who are in the Solis Planum, battling it out, trying to just stay ahead. Then we have Silas and Yoji, who are the weakest 2 players, who are also on the map, and we got Rennie and Ilana, who are the middle 2 players, and they are also on a map. So you can make arguments for joining in with Anastasia and Sam to see if you can get a lead over them and push them down a bit, just to increase your lead on your direct competitors. You could also say, well, if these Silas and Yoji are the weakest players, we join with them and see if we can gain more out of it than we otherwise would. Or you'll go with the middle of the pack. I think in this case doesn't really matter. Before Anastasia, Sam and Frank, and another player, I think Yoji. Well, at least they were all on the same map. So it's playing it with 4 on the same map would have been just bad for dividing resources. But that argument doesn't apply here. So instead I'm gonna look at what we get. So if we play here, we get a free metal mine for the coming 2 weeks, which might be interesting since you always can use metal to make steel, and you always need steel to upgrade your factory. So that's going to be a decent investment. Then we have the silicon shipments that you get here. Every time you upgrade your HQ, you will get 40 silicon, which for 5 upgrades, or technically 4 upgrades, because I'm not quite sure if you get it at level 1 as well. But you gain a bunch of silicon, which generally is worth quite a sum. So that's a pretty decent perk. And then here you get a food shipment, which, well, actually these days it's worth quite a bit. So I think we're actually gonna go with this one for now. We get the free metal mine. Curious to see how that goes. Also, it will allow us to increase our reputation with China, to increase the scan range even further, which is going to be pretty sweet, I think. Power doesn't have a very high value, but the price can skyrocket if we don't focus on it. So I think I'm gonna invest in boosting our geothermal outputs by getting another engineer for that. So permanently augment our staff with a power plant engineer. And let's have a look at financial investments. We get a 25% cut from our rivals' debt interest. Could be very interesting. Also, we can't... Yeah, so we permanently get this one as well. That's just a permanent patent. And then we don't have any money left for other things because we only have 15k. So if the others go into debt to bootstrap their business, we will benefit from that. So let's go. So there is a steelworker strike going on here. It will reduce the output of steel mills. So the interesting side effect of that is that the steel price is probably gonna go through the roof. Because if it's hard to make steel, it's just gonna be less available. Do some scanning.
High levels of aluminum found. Medium levels of water found. High levels of water found. High levels of carbon found. Low levels of iron found.
So how is this looking so far? Not a lot of iron.
High levels of iron found.
Ah, there's iron here.
Scientific colony founded.
Some water. Let's do some more scanning. Ooh,
Robotic colony founded.
bunch more water. And I think we just scouted the map for our competitors. On the other hand, maybe there's something really good in this corner. Let there be something really good in this corner. There is completely nothing in this corner. Okay. Ooh, what's this? But this is the downside of over scanning and under deciding. Okay, so there's a really fairly large aluminium deposit. Also, aluminium is ridiculously scarce. There's 2 deposits over here and a small one over there. So I think we am actually gonna completely crash the aluminium. We're gonna capitalize on that because everybody needs aluminium. There's a lot of water, so I think water is gonna be relatively cheap. So I'm gonna mostly ignore that. Also, I don't think I saw geothermal anywhere. That's gonna be annoying. I actually spent an upgrade getting engineers for that, and then there's no geothermal. Funny. So iron, it's over there. Aluminium. Okay. And of course, as we get water, we can just focus on the basic resources again. So they already went for a greenhouse. Ah, they're for scientific, so they built a greenhouse on top of water. Okay. And what we'll set up here. Then we have access to the water, we have access to some of this stuff, and we can just sprawl a little bit. Okay, aluminium. 1. Aluminium. Blocked by another player. Okay, that's too close. They claim it by physical presence. Okay, fair. Wind turbines. You can get quite a lot of power there. Ooh, I can also get a lot of power up here. And here we can make triangles. Yeah, this is probably going to be more efficient. Yep, let's go for a power triangle. I don't think there are better triangles we can build, are there? Nope. Let's go for it. So that's this one. Then next up, water pump. Let's see. If you take this one, then we can make a nice triangle over here. Here the triangle is going to be less efficient, so let's do that. Okay. Then food and oxygen. And I think that is one of the most organized deployments I've done to date. The steel prices are soaring, as expected. So these iron mines are going to yield quite a bit. So we need both aluminium and steel. On the other hand, we have core samples. We can dig for interesting stuff, though this is all water. Oh, this is more interesting. Dig adjacent to our own aluminium mine if we want more. Something to definitely keep in mind.
Rebaltic colony expanded.
Okay, all our factories have been plopped down. Ah, we are still waiting for our first water shipment. Excellent. So excess food and oxygen we can sell. Fuel, let's keep some reserves. On the other hand, if we sell it at market rates, I think that should be good. Oh yeah, I get a free wind turbine for plopping down, so I should actually have 2 of them. That's part of the reward for winning a previous mission. And we can upgrade. Excellent. So we are now using more water, so that is something to upgrade. Our food industry and our fuel industry are also in need of improvements. And then we probably need to look at our power as well. And steel is already becoming a bit of a pain due to the prices. Someone used an underground nuke. Was that on? You have been targeted by an underground nuke. Okay, so where? What did they target? Okay, so they targeted this one. Trace amounts of water are being produced. That's rather annoying. The thing is, once you have a claim, you can't... It's usually not feasible to do anything else with it. I could turn this into, well, let's say a food producing farm, but it's just not practical to have it all the way over there.
New land is available for
Silicon.
bidding will begin at.
Silicon prices are pretty abysmal. On the other hand, we don't really have a lot of silicon.
So,
Okay, we have our plot now.
Scientific colony expanded.
It's gonna be very expensive in terms of fuel, but if we get silicon out of it, that means we can start making glass, and glass prices are going pretty good. And as I was expecting, fuel or power prices are also, or our production is so-so. Let's see, we have an underground nuke, so we can actually annoy the heck out of someone else. Is there something that we are doing pretty well at and someone else is competing on? Aluminium is potentially interesting. Price is low, but going up. So if we nuke this, then that's a very valuable mine that we take out. Let's cycle through things for a bit. Oh wow, so this is the only other aluminium mine on the map right now. That's okay with me then. That means our aluminium is gonna be worth more. Let's start out selling that as well. So water I just keep manually selling because again it's just an input for a lot of other things. More claims, those are good. So steel prices are pretty ridiculous. Is there still, there's a lot of iron. It's just steel production is not terribly efficient. This is, yeah, they did a good job setting up here. I'm gonna use 0.23 fuel. That's 23 bucks when you get 1.6 iron. Which we turn into about 0.4 steel. If you get the triangle here though, then you're producing a lot of that stuff. Well, let's take a gamble. This way, if we produce more, our overhead's gonna go down. That means we can start producing steel. Also, we're gonna be mining a ton of the stuff. Which means we are gonna use a lot more fuel. Let's produce more of that. We have a lot of water anyway. So I think we can get away with it. And that would at least set up the basics for our upgrade production. And we really should get ourselves a actual astronaut to permanently get ourselves an off-world market, since they are pretty useful if the local market prices are rubbish for just launching stuff into space for profit. Just paying off the debt just so there's no interest payments on it. Let's buy ourselves a little bit of iron so our steel mill can already get started. We can actually just start auto-selling the stuff, since we will buy it at market prices anyway.
This is not an auction for drugs. No, these are
Adrenaline boosts.
high-performance dietary supplements.
So you get a performance boost for certain buildings, making expensive stuff. This is temporary, right? Doesn't seem all that useful, to be honest. Okay, wait, are they both scientific?
So,
That's the colony. Are you scientific as well? You're robotic. Okay, you actually do have ships flying about. Good, good, good. So this way we can disrupt our competitor. Excellent. I have to pay attention because these are our metal mines, of course. And holy moly, are we generating a ton of that stuff. Well, at least we'll not be wanting for it. Let's start boosting the colony. So these consume glass, so that means glass is going to be a good investment, and they require steel to build. So if we have a ton of steel, it's going to be very cheap to build this. Question is if early investments, they're cheap, but it also means you're not investing in your own colony. Trade-offs, trade-offs, trade-offs. But steel is pretty darn pricey. So let's start auto-selling this goop. Sell some water. Okay, probably shouldn't have. We get some interest payments, but our competitors are not really deeply into debt, unfortunately. I think actually my steel mill is valuable enough right now. Then I'm just gonna put a Goon squad on it to protect it. And the funny thing is that so I'm staring at this steel. On the other hand, it's the food, and that's actually making a lot of money.
Scientific colony expanded.
So how long is this boost gonna work? He's also boosting a steel mill. That was to be expected. Let's stop auto-selling the aluminium because it's rather worthless. Iron as well.
new land is
Hey, a carbon tile. We don't have
we'll begin at.
carbon mine yet, might as well. If we're gonna get into other types of endgame buildings, then at least we have the resources for it.
So,
The black
The Quarry.
market is
It's
online.
very nearby, so this is gonna be just a pretty decent thing in general. Okay, so actually not gonna pay off our debt here. I really just wanna get this steel situation sorted. Also, glass price is only gonna go up. buy just enough for this, so then at least we got the price locked in for that. Aluminium will just build up our own surplus. We are using a lot, frightening amount of fuel actually. On the other hand, we also sell our surplus, so this is just gonna bounce a little bit. Okay, we need to start consuming more of this iron. It's nice that we're producing this much, but we it's really too much. Can we send some of? It's not even possible, not even profitable to send it to Earth at this point. Okay, we can upgrade. Good. Steel mill. That's the first. Steel mill. That's the second. It's also using a lot of power. That's gonna drive us into negative power. Let's complete the triangle here. And maybe another fuel factory for all the transportation, then at least we fix that. Maybe more food, because food is good. Food makes money. So most of the ships I see flying are mine, which is rather annoying. Yeah. Can't really get anywhere with sabotage here. That's annoying. That's unfortunate. Energy vault acquired. That's a good way to insulate yourself against solar issues.
No, these are perfectly
It
legal
wants that someone else grab it.
dietary supplements.
Is it still going? No, see, it's only a temporary boost. I don't think it's going to be worth that much money. Okay, let's actually take our steel off of the market, since we will need more for future upgrades and things like that. Let's just keep it as a private resource and let's keep the market price going up. Also, we can invest more here. Food. Final claim. Wait. Building frozen. Buggers. You buggers. That's not how you do this. Maybe start the auto cell here, or stop the auto cell. How much time is this gonna take? 30 to 50 seconds. That's... Wow, that's a very nice tactical play. I cannot fault them. Anyone else heavily into this stuff? Feeling slightly vindictive here now. Not quite sure if that's a wise strategic move, but never about wisdom. So are you only producing endgame stuff and not food and such? Wow! That means they're spending a ton on that. And actually I don't mind that the prices are surging, because I'm gonna make a killing off of it later on. La la la. So they might actually have done me a slight favor there. Might as well start selling off some of our silicon. Because we can't actually get ourselves a... some high-end factories just yet. Also pay off debts just to keep it clean. And glass is probably going to be a pretty decent investment. Also water. We're using now a lot more than we auto. So that's going to be a next investment. So buildings virus. Okay, so that's why we are having a shortage. Well, then that's actually pretty okay. Just help us consume some of the resources.
Virus.
Takes over control of a building so that it cannot be turned off, scrapped, or it will automatically buy input resources.
Auction unclaimed. Bidding
Okay.
closed.
Well, all my buildings are currently running, so they can't use it against me. I don't have anything disabled. Yeah, this is just gonna fix itself. I don't particularly care that much right now. We have reserves. Okay, so glass, chemicals, or power.
Baltic colony expanded.
We are exporting power, so we might as well boost this. Requires glass. Okay, so glass is very, very key here, actually. So let's get into the glass business. It's gonna use 1.5 of this stuff, so it's gonna be more than what we got. And I think... Let's see, so we have one up here. But we have our core samples. So this is where core samples get in. If you want something that's expensive, you can just start digging for it. And it's chance based, it could turn into something else. Carbon. Metal mine, silicon mine. So most chances here are for water, aluminium. But aluminium prices are rubbish, so that's actually not worth it. Carbon prices are also not very good. Actually, aluminium prices are not rubbish. I was looking at carbon. So let's set up one of these. And we can build on it and we get some more. We just extract it. And because it's close, it's gonna be fairly profit generating, I think. Yeah, let's start selling our excesses. Same for iron. Same for steel. Yeah. Let's just start making some raw money that we can then turn into modules over here. Increase the demand for power. Also, let's build ourselves another power turbine. So it's actually cheaper to build a housing. Is the virus stuff already gone? Yes, it is. We're just consuming a lot now, aren't we? Yeah. We are. Okay. But it's the last day, so I think we're gonna end up on a surplus there anyway. So this now has completely tanked. That's rather annoying. So let's stop auto selling it. This we can auto sell. Let's see, a magnetic storm. Well, this is us. Can we do something with it? No, we're still only annoying ourselves. Dang it. Okay. We just have to build something. Doesn't really matter anymore, because it's the last day. We just have to make money. Also, oh wow, someone actually froze my glass kilns. That's devious. Let's do the same to you. Haha. I can retaliate. I can be as evil as you don't want me to be.
Pirates. I hate those filthy bandits.
Make more money. Let's see, 32. We need more aluminium. We are currently selling it. Prices are dropping. Let's stop auto selling that. Buy another expansion. 6 hours to go. we almost have 50% of the market in our hands. Let's see if we can actually get more than 50. We need more oxygen. Oh, damn, that's now an input for our glass. Okay, 2200. Let's just sell everything.
Black market is online.
Build one more. Completely crash our economy here. Couldn't get enough money together to get one more building, but I think we gave it a pretty good effort. Close to 50%. So let's see what it turned out to. 16 and they got 9 and 8. So together they got 17. So that's about 47 or so percent. Let's see the overview. So we made, once again, we made the most money off of apples. Even though we were focusing completely on different things. Apples actually made us the most money. Competitors were focusing on glass, which was the right call. I was way too late to see it. I spent the most money on glass as a result. I also burned quite some money on steel. Spent quite some of fuel because I was also selling it, I think. Yeah, fuel, it was also almost 50-50. Spent 41k, made 50k. So that's a tiny profit. Anything else that really sticks out here? Chemicals? Yeah, don't think I was not making them. And there was actually quite some sabotage going back and forth between Rennie and me, while Ilana was just watching on the side, not doing anything. Okay, so let's have a look. 48%, I was very close with my guess of 47%. So we get an extra claim when we found the HQ next time. Wasn't that supposed to be a metal mine? Oh well, we'll see. Extra claims I approve of, but we make 255k every turn. So that's very good. That's quite a bunch of money. So let's see. The Martian government wants to hire away one of your chemical refinery engineers. Is willing to pay you money. No, I want my engineer. So Ilana, who was watching from the side as Rennie and I duked it out, actually lost. So goodbye, Ilana. I'm still up top, but Samarano is doing a pretty good job, and Anastasia is now at the bottom of the barrel. So from number 2 to the last one on the list in one single round. Things are heating up. Also, next time we only have 2 to choose from. But that's gonna be next time. So, gonna thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again in the next episode. Bye bye.